Hi, my name is Teri and I'm the founder of Take Charge Training. I teach women the necessary skills that they need to take charge of their personal safety through a variety of training classes and safety seminars. I created Take Charge to be a reliable resource for women who wanted to learn about the options for personal safety in a judgment-free, safe, and supportive environment. I handpick all my instructors. I have Shelly, Tez, Kathy, Katie, myself, all women instructors, and we also have that same philosophy to provide a judgment-free zone. When you come to my class, I'll tell you straight up, ladies, I want you to ask me questions. If you put the ammo in backwards, don't worry about it. I'm going to teach you the little tips and tricks that you need so that the next time you know exactly how to load the gun. Same with my safety seminars. When you're learning to use the pepper gel or the pepper sprays for the first time, I'll bring inactive canisters with me. They're called inert cans, and we'll actually practice hands-on at the class. And sometimes when maybe the first time you've ever touched one, you go to shoot the target and it squirts up at the ceiling. And I understand that some people are embarrassed, but I say don't worry about it. You know, I would rather that happened here at this class as opposed to you being face-to-face with a criminal confrontation and it not go where you think it's going to go. From my experience, I realize that ladies that want to learn about firearms ownership are usually two different types. Either number one, they grew up with firearms, maybe their dad took them hunting or they went out plinking, or the second group wanted to come to my class to learn about a firearm for personal protection. Maybe they had a very scary situation, and that's exactly what happened to me. I thought I was safe. I live in a gated community. I had the 3 big dogs, security system hardwired in my house that I actually turn on now. But when the criminal showed up at my house, unfortunately I had always relied on the men in my life to keep me safe, and they were 1,300 miles away. And when he showed up at my house, I realized really fast that my personal safety was in deep trouble. You know, I had no tools, no plan, no skills in place, and I literally didn't know what to do. And sadly, I became a victim of a crime. It was terrifying. It took a week, 2 weeks maybe, for them to figure out who it was. He was arrested, taken to jail, and I made a beeline for the court to obtain an order of protection. And I remember so vividly leaving the judge's court. You're escorted from there to the front door of the courthouse. And it was on the 2nd floor. We were going in the elevator with the security man, and he said, "Ma'am, I just want you to be safe. I hope you believe in your Second Amendment rights." And I went, okay, what does that mean, or why should I worry? And he goes, well, because this is just a piece of paper. And he was referring to my order of protection. That was really my first wake-up call about standing up and really taking charge of my own personal safety. My second wake-up call happened that very night, about 11:30 p.m. I got a call from the detective, and he said, "Hey, I want to let you know that he's confessed to everything. He's posted bail, and they're going to be having him come back for sentencing." And I went, "Wait a minute, he's getting out?" And he goes, "Yeah, in about 30 minutes before midnight, they're going to go ahead and release him on bail." And man, that's when the panic hit me. I called my husband. He was out of state. And I said, you know, I don't know what to do. What do I do? And he said, okay, go buy a gun. You need to go get a gun. So the next day I went to the local gun store, and $500-600 later I bought a gun for the first time. You know, I didn't grow up with guns. In fact, I was, mid-50s before I ever owned a firearm. Had no desire to shoot one, let alone to own one. And so I had the Glock in the box and didn't have a clue how to shoot it. And so I went to the local indoor range and I said, "Hey, you know, I've got this gun, but I don't know what to do with it. Do you have somebody here that can teach me?" And he goes, "Well, the lady that used to teach, she no longer teaches, and the guy that took her spot is deployed overseas. He'll be back in 3 months." And I went, okay, that's not going to work. So back to the gun store I go. You know, I told them, "Hey, I need to learn to shoot this. I don't even know how to load it." And he goes, "Well, first thing you need to do is come to my CCW class." So that's next month. I enrolled in the CCW class. We spent 8 hours, I think, in that classroom learning about Arizona Revised Statute, Title 13, Chapter 31. And that was about the first 2 hours. The second part of the class, 5 hours of it, was pretty much watching kind of gory crime videos. And we learned a little bit about ammo. I got my certificate of completion and my CCW permit, but I still didn't know what to do with the Glock in the box. Still didn't touch the gun. In fact, I didn't touch it. I was terrified of it. So back to the gun store I go, saying, okay, I got the permit, but now what do I do? He said, okay, next thing you need to do is take my intro to pistol class. So I show up at the intro to pistol class. Back in the classroom we go, 6 hours of PowerPoint, where they're going to attempt to teach me to shoot a gun for the very first time by watching a video. And day two, we went to I think it was a abandoned cement company or something out in the desert. And I can remember this so vividly. Put all the guns out on the table, and the guy starts barking and screaming orders, and it was almost like a force-on-force type training event. I was terrified. You know, I picked up the gun, I'm trying to load it, and I was so nervous doing like this that I couldn't even pull the trigger. It was awful. And we broke for lunch. We were supposed to be back in about 45 minutes. And I put the gear in the car and I didn't come back. I kept driving, you know, sobbing because I still was terrified and needed to learn to shoot. So I kind of shared my story with my neighbor lady. I had no idea that she was a concealed carry person. And she said, Terry, I go to the gun range a couple times a month. Why don't you join me? And so I did. And that was a game changer for me. She was a member of the club. We went to a private area on the range. So I didn't have a bunch of people next to me with big guns. It was just she and I on the range. She was not an instructor, but she showed me what she knew. And from there on, it was a game changer for me. I love shooting. It was so much fun. It was just a comfortable environment. And I think that's why, for me to provide that type of environment for my students is so important. You know, and I asked her stupid questions, and I thought they were stupid, but she were like, you know, any question you have, let me know. And it was great. From there, I went on. I loved it so much. Now I compete at a national level. Just got my expert ranking in international defensive pistol because of the tournaments that I've been winning, so I'm really proud of that. But what I'm more proud of is to be able to provide that type of environment for my students at my classes. I became very comfortable and confident with my firearms, and then I thought, you know, I'd like to teach the ladies in my family who want to learn this. And then their friends wanted to learn, and their friends wanted to learn. So then I decided, okay, I need to get my instructor's license. So I went to Gunsight Academy, which is the premier academy for firearms classes up in Paulden, Arizona. So hi, everybody in Gunsight. Love you guys. And that's where I got my NRA certification to teach pistol, rifle, and shotgun. I also realized that gun ownership is not for everybody, or maybe there are times when you simply can't carry a firearm into the location you're going. So I also got my certification through Sabre Red to become a certified personal safety academy instructor to teach women how to properly use the defensive sprays and gels. I also went to Cobra Defense so I can teach ladies how to use the striking tools and then some simple escape techniques. Don't get into taekwondo and the jujitsus, but just a simple escape, like if I get my arm grabbed, how do I get loose? Those sort of things. I want you to leave a Take Charge class knowing that, yes, I have the necessary tools and skills that I need in the event I come face to face with a confrontation. I know exactly what to do. So